Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 5, Episode 5, Inspire 3 coming, DJI Mavic 3 GPS Woes. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Let's get into greeting everybody. Just want to make sure Ron will not be with us tonight. He's visiting his dad. Marcus is going to join us here in a little bit. So I hope everyone is doing well this evening. We had winter down here in Florida. Hard to believe. Yes, we really did. It got to freezing the other day, and that was just not very nice. Florida's not suited for freezing environment. Just to let you guys know, down here, they don't use insulation down here like they do up north. In other words, like in the walls. Our walls are concrete block, but they're really not insulated much to speak of because most of the year it's very warm out here. So when our furnace runs, it runs and it runs and it runs because it takes a lot longer to get up to temperature here. That's just a little bit of FYI, Florida FYI down here. And also, too, realize, if we get any kind of accumulation of frost on the streets and it gets super cold like that, the only thing we can do down here is wait till the sun comes out and melts it, really. I mean, that's it. We don't have salt. We don't have de-icer, any of those kind of things. I mean, they do have that at the airport, but they don't have it around here. So it's kind of like you're kind of stuck with stuff like that. So anyway, let's get into greeting some of the faithful here tonight. Mr. Stephen Ewing is here. Drone Shots is here. Jaybird is here. Quadcopters and Tech is here. Rex is here. See, Drone Master's here. Matt Bagwell. Johnny Drone Flyer. Leonard Oglesby. Let's see. Oh, who else we got? Dr. Ted is in the house. Welcome, Dr. Ted. Drone Views Media. Akarasho. Frank Walker. Welcome, Frank. Glad you're here tonight. Let's see who else we got. Hal 9000. Billy Tompkins. Welcome. Thank you for, hey, a fellow ham radio guy. All right. Welcome. Thank you, my friend. All right. Thomas Baker is here. Ridgefire 32, Drone Views Media. Okay, all right. Actually do have some things to talk about tonight. It's not, you run into cycles where there's a lot to talk about, where there's not a lot to talk about. We have some good things to talk about tonight, and I want to get into that. First, I want to thank, I know there's several people of you, I won't name you by name, but I really want to thank you for your emails. Just to kind of give you all an update on Val's dad. They took him from the hospital today to a rehab center. He's probably going to be there for at least 20 days to see if he can build his strength up, and then they're going to make some determination at that point in time. His spirits have been very good lately. He's been kind of ornery with my wife, which is a good thing, and telling her that she's agitating him, which you know what, that's a good thing, because when Valerie's agitating you, that means you're feeling good. And Valerie agitates me a lot. So I'm just kidding. But anyway, just to let you guys know and give you an update. And I want to thank you. I've gotten several emails expressing, your thoughts and prayers and well wishes. And I really want to thank you for that. And I also want to call out here before we start diving into some things. Want to let you guys know, because Valerie has been, rightly so, she has a lot of siblings in the area, which is great. But, she's been spending time she's been going at least once a day to see her dad. And that's been a good thing. But I've had to pick up the slack and do some things around the house. So I really haven't had opportunities to go out and fly much. I do have Tuesday night that I'm able to do, and I'm able to work on that at lunchtime on Tuesday. So that's kind of I'm sorry, that's really kind of been undisturbed. But I'm hopeful this weekend coming up. I'm crossing my fingers again. That I'll be able to get out and get the Mavic 3 up and get some more testing in. And we're going to talk about the Mavic 3 here in a little bit. But first thing I want to talk about tonight. Let's see here. Oh, and I want to make a mention, okay? I did notice, okay, our friend Bob Dempsey and Old Farts, Marcus is going to be on his show, and I think it's tomorrow, okay? So maybe Marcus can give us an update on the time of the show. but look for him with Bob Dempsey on Old Farts tomorrow on Bob's channel. So that's a good thing. Bob does a great thing, and you guys please support his channel. He does. It's been a great thing for those of us in our who are a little bit past middle age to enjoy, and Bob does a great job at it, and kudos to him, and I want to thank him for all the work he's doing. All right, let's see here. I gotta get myself together here. All right, DJI Inspire 3 coming soon. Well, there's been some scuttlebutt going here, and there's 2 articles, and we're gonna take a look at them. And the reason that it's actually not news about the Inspire 3, but it's actually about the Inspire 2. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to share articles. Everything, again, remember, everything I share right now is going to be okay, I'm trying to allow something, and it's not letting me. All right, anyway. All right. Everything that I share here is, I'm doing this via, it's posted on Builder Drone Reviewer Facebook group and Facebook page, so you're welcome to look at these articles here. All right. All right. DJI Inspire 2 being discontinued to make way for Inspire 3. Okay. DJI leaker Autel has shared what looks like a product discontinuation notice sent by DJI to its dealers in China. Translated roughly, the notice says that once the current Inspire 2 inventory is sold out, convincingly sometime in February 2022, new stock would not be provided for sale. The dealers should instead expect a strategy for new product switchover. This sure smells like an Inspire 3 to us. And there it is. Excuse me. You're welcome to read it if you can translate that or put that into a translator. Feel free to go ahead and do that. Previous rumors indicated Inspire 3 could launch sometime around September 22. If that timeline is indeed correct, and DJI does not bring out its new generation filmmaking drone to the market before fall, the tech giant would get an opportunity to promote the more portable Mavic 3 Cine as a must-have cinematography tool. And our good friends over here at Drone XL, hey Kestelou, aging DJI Inspire 2 will be discontinued in February. Will we see an Inspire 3 in 2022? Basically, it's the same type of information in the article. DJI Inspire 2 camera system shows its age. DJI Inspire 2 is the successor of the DJI Inspire 1. Inspire 2 is a reliable quadcopter. The Zenmuse X5S and X7 camera sensors and lenses started to show their age and are due to be replaced. The question on everybody's minds right now is, will we see a new Inspire in 2022? On the Pixel Drone Show, recently interviewed Kern Daly from DJI, who did seem to indicate the new DJI drone models will be launched this year. Let us know what you think about the Inspire 2 reaching its end of life and the possibility of DJI Inspire 3 being launched this calendar year. Okay, and just to kind of give you guys a little bit of flavor and some background here, flying an Inspire 2 is a skill in and of itself, and I'm sure my good friend Jeff Voigt can attest to this. And also, when you're doing firmware updates, you got to do multiple firmware updates at a time to this, and you got to have your head screwed on straight when you're doing these things, because it can get rather dicey and complicated, and you got to kind of keep things straight when you're doing it. And like it said, there's no, I don't think there's any sensor going backwards, and that could pose a problem. That's one of the things that they're looking for. Obviously, upgraded camera and payload system is another thing. Improved battery life, runtime, that kind of a thing. Improved transmission system, are things. So yeah, it is kind of showing its age. So I would say this: if you've been wanting to get an Inspire 2, you may want to try to do it now, or you may want to wait. They may be scarce, they may be hard to find. So you might want to be taking a look at something like that right now. That's just a heads up to you. So just want to kind of give you that heads up right there. So with that being said, all right, there's no articles on this one, but there is just, there's more and more discussion out there about the Mini 3 coming. And will we see it? When will we see it? You know, is this a drone that's going to come sooner rather than later? You know, let me say this, several things. One, we're going to see it sooner rather than later. My guess is we will probably see it in the March-April timeframe. As far as a time frame is concerned, I know I was watching our good friend, you know, friends at Drone Nation, Ron and Marcus, and you know, Lauren was in the chat and indicated that the price was going to probably be about $645. Now that's without a Firmware kit. Okay. Now, you know, yes, that is an increase from the Mini 2 and the price of the Mini 2. But realize too, when you're jumping up in something like this, you know, it's excuse me, when you're jumping up in technology like this, okay, expect to pay for it, you know, and you're going to get what you're going to pay for. And with something like the Mini 3, obviously one of the things that we'll see with this will be obstacle avoidance, and obstacle avoidance that will work, okay? And I think too, this is important. I think DJI doesn't want to rush this, but I think they're kind of anxious to get this out because of the mishaps or the missteps, let me put it to you this way, of the Autel Evo Nano and Nano Plus, okay? They still haven't been, you know, that jello hasn't been corrected last I knew. And I know Marcus has been diligently, you know, applying firmware updates, getting it out there, testing it, and, you know, it's helped in some areas, but, you know, still that jello, and that makes it unusable, and that's a very unfortunate thing. So stay tuned on that. But, you know, with that being said, DJI wants to take advantage of this and come out with a working drone, okay? You know, out of the gate, DJI has had a good history of getting a product out there that maybe with a firmware update that's needed, you know, is doing well. And we're going to talk about the Mavic 3 here in a little bit and its GPS Woes. But what I'm saying is, you know, for the second thing here is the timing of this. And I think it would behoove DJI to get this out sooner rather than later, because at that point, when you're getting it out sooner, that's going to really bode very well for DJI. You know, get these people who have been. I mean, think about this. Okay, we're talking $645 for this. All right. Now, you know, the base price of the Nano and the Nano Plus, you know, you're spending $700, $800, $900 for these, and look what's happened. Okay, it's been not a rousing success. We'll say that right now. Okay. Now the drone that surprised everybody is the Evo Light Plus, and you know that's something for a discussion for another time. But you know, these are two reasons that I think it's going to be coming out sooner rather than later. And then the other thing, the market has really trended. The third thing here, the market has really trended towards these drones coming out, towards the mini drone market. All right, and you can see, you know, with FIMI, you know, they're wanting to get into it. With Hubson, they're wanting to get into it, and you know, and Autel wanted to get into it. And I think, personally speaking, right now the only one that's been successful, you know, in getting these sub 249 gram drones out on the market has been DJI, and they've done it, and they've done it well. And that's something I think that everybody should take notice of. So, you know, what can I say? I mean, that's just the way it is. Okay, so you know, that's why I'm thinking the Mini 3 is going to come sooner rather than later, and I think that's something we can all look forward to. Let's see who else is here tonight. Art is in the house. Welcome, Art, and Captain Ray Kelly. And while Captain Ray Kelly is in here, April 2nd, the Florida Drone Meetup. Okay, Captain Ray has a site out there out on Facebook. Go check it out. If you have any questions, Captain Ray will be happy to answer them for you. Hoping for some good weather here around that time of year. Okay, weather can get kind of iffy. I mean, you know, not cold iffy, but rain and wind and all that kind of stuff. And we're hoping for some good weather here, because we know we're going to have a great turnout. Marcus is going to be there. Okay, there's reason in and of itself, and Ron's going to be there. Marcus and Ron are going to, well, of course, I'm going to be there, barring any, any issues. I'll be there as well. But, Ron and Marcus will be there. That's worth the price of admission in and of itself, all right? You get your picture taken with Ron and Marcus. I mean, I don't know who wouldn't want to get their picture taken with both of them. I mean, they are absolute total 100% celebrities. So, yeah, we're up to 73 coming now. All right, Ray, Captain Ray, that's awesome. That is absolutely fantastic. And again, any questions, go out to the site or ping Captain Ray. He will be happy to answer them for you. We're 100%. This is a great chance. You want to call this, ready. Want to call this spin up southeast? We could probably do that. Not to steal Kelly's thunder here, but I think there's a lot of excitement, and it's going to be good to get together. And it'll be good for a lot of people too. And let me tell you this, guys. While it'll be fun to fly some drones, the really good thing about all this is, and I've talked to Ron and Marcus after going to spin up a couple of times, their big thing was being able to sit down and talk to everyone, to meet everybody. That's the big thing here, and I think that's the big takeaway, and it's so good to be able to do that. So let's hope that COVID is on its last legs, and there's no issues with that, and we can move forward with that. But that sounds really good here. So yeah. So all right. 5G and drones. Now this is coming. This article was by Sally French. Okay. And I have it posted out to Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page. Number one, if you guys don't follow Sally, please follow her. She's on Twitter. She has a blog. She publishes it every day. Follow her. She puts out some great content, guys. I'm telling you. And you need to pay attention because she is one of the best ambassadors for drones that we have right now. Okay. She's absolutely fantastic. Sally, if you're watching, want to get you back on the show. You've always been a great guest. We've loved having you on. We'll get you back on again soon. We'll work out a time to get you on. If we have to do the weekend, we'll do the weekend, but we'll get you on, and it'll be a lot of fun because we really appreciate all that you do. Now, this article here, one of the things that okay, I got to select. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. Now, this article is called AT&T Verizon 5G shook up airlines lately, but the drone industry is leaning in. The implementation of 5G around affected airports threatens to disrupt domestic and international air travel, delay thousands of passengers, and cause unnecessary economic harm to the nation and the entire travel industry, not just airlines. Airline CEOs as well as industry representatives sent messages calling for a pause on a 5G rollout. In response, AT&T Verizon agreed to temporarily delay deployment at major airports. The news comes in response to an $81 billion sale last year when the FCC auctioned off the C-band spectrum to U.S. wireless carriers who will allow them to provide robust 5G service. Airlines have said that such technology at play near airports could interfere with aircraft radar altimeters, which is a key instrument that tells pilots how high their plane is off the ground, particularly relevant when flying in low visibility conditions. Okay, but for the drone industry, 5G is key, illustrating another point in the list of differences between the drone industry and the manned aviation industry. 5G is short for fifth generation network. She gets in a little bit here. The drone industry is leaning in. Over on the East Coast, a 5G drone test is underway that makes New York the first FAA-designated UAS test site with a bespoke 5G network. And likewise, most of the major telecom giants are leaning into drones as a symbiotic relationship of sorts. While there are many similarities, many are taking a slightly varied approach. This is certainly far from a comprehensive list, but here are some of the more interesting ways the biggest telecom companies are diving into drones. And I'm going to let you guys take a look at this article. Again, this link is posted out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page. AT&T 5G, T-Mobile, Verizon. There's a lot of information here, and I wanted to pass this on to you guys, so you can have that, and kind of as food for thought, and it's going to lead into our main topic for the evening, which is going to be coming up here in just a second. But with this increase in technology here, this is a good thing. This is very good. This is really kind of on the forefront of technology. Is going to help us out. And I'm going to say this, and we aren't in that article yet, but it's possible that these GPS woes that the Mavic 3 has, and we'll get to it in depth here in just a few, but it's possible that these GPS woes that the Mavic 3 has may be because of interference from the C-band spectrum, the 5G networks that were auctioned off, the federal government auctioned off to the major cell phone providers. So who knows? We'll see about that. We're going to talk about some things here in just a minute about this. Okay. I don't know about you guys. Michael writes in the house. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for stopping by tonight. And Jeff, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Stephen Ewing, yes, that you know what? You get down to Florida, we'll make an effort to get together. I promise you that, my friend. Absolutely. It would be wonderful to get you down here. So yeah, that's kind of, read that article. Sally has a lot of good information. She does a lot of work. And guys, I'm telling you, she puts out a lot of great content, things that you won't see on Drone XL and Drone DJ. Sally has that out there. Please go check that out. She does a great job with that. Also got, I want to pass on a little bit of a story here. One of the things, my son-in-law absolutely is out looking for drones, okay, for a drone for him. Now, you guys know recently I was on, and I posted it out here. I'm sorry. I posted it on Drone in the Facebook group and page where I went to talk to some of my ham radio friends, and we discussed drones and ham radio and how drones can be used in ham radio. My son-in-law wants to use drones with hunting, okay, and help him to spot game ahead of time and quiet drones. That's why he's leaning towards a Mini. But I told him, being up in Ohio, it may not be the ideal drone because it does get windy up in Ohio. So just to kind of, square things away, I'm telling him he should lean towards an Air 2 or an Air 2S. I would probably do the Air 2 would probably be the best. So you can still get good videography, photography off that drone. But the Air 2S has the other good capabilities. So he's looking into that, and I'm excited for him because he's helped me with some things that he's I would call definitely a subject matter expert on, and he's gotten me very squared away with that, and I want to thank him for that, my son-in-law Andy, and he's also a veteran, and my hat is off. And just to let you guys know, any one of you who are veterans in the chat, and I know my friend Rex is in here right now, and then Jeff Voigt's here, okay? Thank you for your service. I am a staunch and a fierce supporter of all veterans, both past and present, and thank you incredibly for your service. All right. DJI Mavic 3 GPS woes, okay? Guys, this has just been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. I know I watched some of Drone Nation last night. I've seen some other videos. I know Russ has had some issues, Russ and 51 Drones. He had some other issues where he was losing altitude over snow. So, that may be a separate type of issue. And, we're talking about things and possibly what it could be and everything. and one of the things we talked about last night, and this brought to mind here, this is one of the first things that I want to talk about is I used to have probably about 10, 11 years ago, before I got cars that had GPS navigation built in, and before the phones your smartphone was good enough to do navigation. I had a TomTom, okay, and I love that thing, absolutely love that thing. Well, in fact, I remember 11 years ago, okay, here's an example, okay, coming to Tampa to meet somebody for the first time, wonder who that might be. Anyway, get the rental car, plug it in, fire it up, okay. I'm not outside, so we can't acquire, satellite lock. So I get outside, still can't acquire satellite lock. I don't know where I'm going, okay? I mean, I know where I'm going, but I don't know where I'm going to go to the hotel I was going to stay at to meet the most beautiful woman in the world for a date that night. Anyway, okay, it took about good 6, 7, 8, almost 10 minutes before that thing finally acquired enough satellites and it was kicking me back, and I was heading over to Clearwater instead of coming up to Brandon Riverview area. So it took a while to acquire that, okay? And I'm saying this because I know there was a discussion last night on Drone Nation. We talked about this very subject, about early days of GPS. It took a while to acquire a lock, and I understand that, and I think it's relevant because I experienced that. Okay, I experienced that with my own. So that was something I think is relevant. Okay, I think that's part of it. But realize the technology 11 years ago, the technology today is vastly different. I will say this: any other DJI drone I've ever had, I've never had this issue whatsoever. I would say at the most, maybe 2 minutes. At the most, because by the time after I get everything fired up, I'm making sure all my cables are good to go, and I'm checking the area out for any birds or any aircraft. I got my ears tuned out to things. I'm checking my screen, making sure everything's looking good with that. My controller's good, no issues there. Cables are all tight and everything. By the time I usually do all that, and then usually I'll start my screen recorder. We're good to go. Okay, and that just maybe 2 minutes at the most, right? Well, I've noticed it every time I've gone out. It's taken more than 2 minutes to acquire that signal on the Mavic 3. Now, I've flown it in 2 different places, and it's been the same both times. Okay, there's been so this leads me to believe, a lot of people are asking, is this going to be Grumpy Vlogger? Welcome, Lloyd. I hope you're feeling well. It's glad to see you in the chat. Welcome back. Nice seeing you. Very, very good to see you, Lloyd. And there's Marcus. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, Bill. How about yourself?
Well, we're discussing the Mavic 3 GPS woes right now.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. You would hope that DJI will just turn on GLONASS. I mean, it would have to just be a software thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Whether it's a software or hardware, it has to be software. It really has to be, because the module that they're using is the same thing that they've used. It's probably the same thing in the Air 2S and the Air 2. They don't change that module, Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know, but I do know that the guys that they tell me that when they're building an FPV drone and they put a GPS module on it, they can pick and choose what satellites they want it to receive through software. So I suspect it's the same thing. That said, as a hobbyist, I'm telling you, it doesn't affect me at all. If I have to wait 3 or 4 minutes, I'm not too worried about it. Now, here's the exception I'll make. Well, 2 exceptions. A, if you're a professional, totally get it. You need to get that bird in the air, get the job done. B, if you're somebody like our friend Ron Brown, who he goes out at the golden hour and he's trying to catch a sunset. So he's timing it. He doesn't want to put the bird up in the air too early nor too late. He needs to get the thing in the air so he can get that shot.
Exactly. And I know our good friend Original Dobo was talking about the same thing. He times his shots on a lot of those things when he's doing the outside photography for it. And, it has to work. When he's put the battery in, hooked everything up, he needs to get the bird up in the air to get the shot.
Yeah, he's got clients that are waiting for him to get everything done. Totally understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was trying to recall, and I went back through my collective memory, Marcus, every other DJI drone, and I've had every DJI drone, okay? I've never had to wait more than 2 minutes, okay? More than the time it would take by the time you maybe turn your screen recorder on, make sure your cables are all good, and the drone's faced the right way, and you've checked the sky. By that time I'm down there, it's ready to go, I've never had to wait longer than that. Whereas I've had to wait longer, and I've flown at 2 different places both times.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what to say. It's an issue, and what we know about DJI is they'll address it. They'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll get a firmware update for it sooner rather than later, and right. And I know that's going to happen. One of the other things that I wanted to talk with you and kind of get some feedback is, with Talk, they're already announced that they're going to be discontinuing the Inspire 2 this month, okay, through that Chinese translation that Autel put out, and dealers are not going to be receiving anymore after this month. So one of the articles suggests, I don't know if it was Drone DJ or Drone XL, one of the articles suggests that everybody, they can tout the Mavic 3 Cine as a professional drone, and in lieu of the Inspire 3 coming out or something like that. I think it's going to be sooner rather than later that we see an Inspire 3. I don't think they're going to want that big of a product gap.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember where I heard it. I think it was Original Dobo said that in speaking to DJI, they expressly said that they don't consider the Mavic 3 a professional drone.
Mm-hmm.
They consider it a consumer product.
Right. And that's, you're exactly right. It's a high, you call it a high-end consumer product, which you could, the Mavic 3 Cine.
Prosumer, right? Prosumer.
Prosumer, exactly. That's a perfect term for it, because you can't. It's not it as much as you would like it to be able to do some of the things the Inspire 2 does. It can't. Okay, it just can't. It's not built like that. But that leads to me to believe sooner rather than later, as far as an Inspire 3 is concerned. And then, of course, I know when I was throwing out price, and Lauren was in the chat, said keep going higher, keep going higher. So that's going to cost, you're probably going to start out around 10 grand for a base unit with nothing in it, and then by the time you add camera modules and batteries and everything, you're probably going to be close to about 20 grand is what I'm at.
If you're a professional, though, I mean, that's not outlandish.
Oh yeah, that's something that you can not even really think about, and obviously write it off on your taxes. I mean, as a business expense. One of the other things that I wanted to kind of get your opinion on is I think the Mini 3, we're going to see that very soon. And one of my reasonings for that is the woes that Autel is having with the Nano and the Nano Plus.
Oh, God.
Marcus, I watch you and I share your pain. I share your frustration. And and I got to say this. If it were me, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, I would be more frustrated with this Nano or Nano Plus than your Xeno Mini drones or your FIMI Mini drones, because it had expectations.
Well, yeah, and it was more expensive. Now,
more expensive, yeah.
Here's what I'll say about that: the FIMI Mini. Hey, it was $320, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, so not that there's any excuse. The thing is, you expect it to work. So I don't want to make excuses for any of the manufacturers, because there shouldn't be. You do, when whether you spend $300 or $1,000, you expect that product to do what they say it's going to do. But it stings a little more. I paid $950 for that Autel Nano Plus, and that's the premium kit,
Mm-hmm.
3 batteries and all that. But nonetheless, it doesn't do the one thing that you need a GPS camera drone to do, and that is to take good, stabilized, high-quality video.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't provide that. I flew it yesterday. I was just heartsick when I looked at the footage. I got home and I stuck the card in, and man, I had some neat shots where I was circling some fountains and stuff at one of the local parks, and I thought, wow, this is going to really look good. And I mean, there's wiggles and jellos, and so it just ruins it. It just doesn't work.
See, that has to be incredibly frustrating, and I know how much you've put into like the Xeno Mini. I knew how much your woes with the FIMI Mini. And we were all hopeful, including myself, that the Nano and the Nano Plus were going to come out of the box and be ready to go here. And this is just I don't get it, Marcus. I really don't.
Yeah, a little issue here or there is one thing, but when it can't provide that good stabilized footage with the camera, and with regard to the Mavic 3, one of the things that it's always provided is flipping great video, man.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is just
no question about that.
Just a beast in the air. And the other thing that I'm seeing a lot of people talking about the satellite lock, and I admit I have not had the big problem. I think the most I've ever waited is like 4 or 5 minutes at the very most. But what I will say is, when I shut the drone down and I put that second battery in it, and I'm not talking about a hot swap, I'm talking about shutting everything down and then putting a second battery and firing it all back up, it gets satellites instantly. So I don't know. I want to do some more testing. I haven't. I wish I'd have got it out today and done a little more testing, Bill, and I just didn't get the chance to do it.
Well, I'm while you were talking, I was looking over the chat, and I looked and saw what was it here. Jerome P. 6 minutes for GPS lock today on my Mav 3 went up to 10 satellites, and in 3 minutes, then teetered between 11 and 7 satellites for 3 or 4 minutes. Wow, I mean, this is just people are having some real issues with this.
I mean, I'm telling you, Bill, by that amount of time, mine, I would have had close to 20 satellites, if not more. And like the other day when I flew it, I had 25 satellites at the peak of it.
I mean, it's happened for me in both places where I fly, but I've never had it more than like 3 or 4 minutes. So I think they'll address it sooner rather than later. And one of the other things, not a lot of people have talked about it. It's Chinese New Year right now. Okay. So we're probably not going to see anything from DJI for probably at least another week or so.
Or Autel, or FIMI,
or Hudson or FIMI. Yeah, I mean,
now Skydio, that's a different story.
Yeah, there you go. That is a different story. Okay, but for the rest of them, it's going to be kind of quiet. Because Banggood said, I get emails. I'm sure you get emails from Banggood all the time from your rep.
Oh boy, do I!
Reminder, this is a reminder. We will be on New Year. If you email me, I won't get it until we're back in the office on this date and all this kind of good stuff. And it's like it's their holidays, their big holidays, their big time over there. So I mean, that's just part of what it is. But also too, this also plays into things like Autel's issue with the Nano Plus, and DJI Mavic 3 with a GPS.
Hey, I want to dive into that for just a second, Bill. So I have, and Ross Langdon and I were talking about this today. I have not seen any video of just the Nano, not the Nano Plus, just the Nano with the smaller sensor, to know whether it has issues with jello and shakes in the video. So I can't corroborate that. I do know virtually all the Nano Plus video that I've seen, no matter who's posted it, you can see it in the video. So
okay. Yeah, that's, and I think, you know, I know DJI wants to address this, and I know they're going to get it taken care of. It's just, it's just kind of frustrating right now, especially for those people that are having, like Jerome down here, going through these kind of things. And then who was it down here? I think Hal 9000. He said 12 seconds to get his Air 2S locked today.
Yeah, well, it's on GLONASS. I mean, we all know that. So all
so
this.
that's
Yeah,
exactly.
and you know what? Okay, so my Autel Nano instantly grabs satellites. So would I rather fly it than my Mavic 3? Nope.
Oh yeah, I agree.
My Mavic 3 gives me what a GPS camera drone is supposed to give me, and that's nice, stabilized, high quality video.
Yeah, you can't, as much as you want to talk about it, you can't deny that fact. Okay, outside the GPS woes right now, Mavic 3 is a go-to drone for me. It's just the video from it, the detail from it, the low light, the detail in the low light. Okay, again, it's another one of those home run kind of things, and I'm anxious to get out. A couple things I want to do. I want to get a hyperlapse of the sunset, and I also want to test some of the other features. I want to do a panorama of the house because I can fly like where I'm at right now, and I have a diagonal I can fly where the construction's happening over in our area. So I got plenty of places to fly just right in front of my house, which is great. And I'm dying to get out there to do that. And as I was explaining to everybody as we started the show, Valerie's dad is getting moved to a rehab facility. In fact, today he got moved there. He's going to be there for 20 days. They're going to see how he's doing and then make an evaluation after that.
But that's good news, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, it is good news. He's been ornery lately, which is also good news because that usually means he's in a pretty good mood and he's giving my wife some grief and she's giving it back to him. So, he's getting to kind of be his old self. So that's a good thing. My big concern is, as I shared with everybody, Val's, I don't want her to get burned out because she's going 7 days a week to see him. And the rehab place, it's a little bit further away and through some major construction. So, and I told her, I said, you may want to do an every other day kind of a thing. Give yourself a break because, we both work full time. So, that's one of those things that I told her. I said, I don't want you burning. I said, I'll handle stuff around here. Don't worry about that. You go take care of seeing your dad and visiting with him. Just, I don't want you to get burned out on that. So hopefully, I think that's what she's going to do is probably do like an every other day kind of a thing. So we'll see on that. But, that's another big reason why, my time flying has been curtailed because on weekends, I'm doing laundry or grocery shopping or, other things, cleaning around the house, so Val can go visit her dad, which I will do that happily. I don't have any problems with that at all. So.
Hey, Bill, I just noticed in the chat the Armed RN is saying that his standard Nano doesn't have any Jello, so that's good news. I mean, I'd love to go to your channel and look at take a look at your video. So
yes, that would be good. Wow, yep. No Jello in the video. That's very interesting. Maybe we might run into a situation here that it just happened on the first so many X number of units that Autel put out, and then after that, it's fine. Who knows?
Oh, Bill, they're going to, I'm wondering what their solution is going to be because they know they have a problem and they're going to have to do something. And if they don't, I mean, I'd just be honest with you. Somebody like me, I'll never touch another Autel drone again. I mean, just because, hey, they got $950 out of me and they're not going to do anything about it. And I'm not saying that they're not. I think that they'll likely get something figured out. But what my worry is that it's a mechanical thing, right? So then that requires either exchanging your drone for another one, or I don't know.
And he also posted here no problems with obstacle sensors too. So
I have those, and I don't know why that would, but anyway, yeah, my OA doesn't work correctly.
Well, that's interesting to hear that, and that's kind of good to see that. But boy, oh boy, Autel's going to have a busy time if it is a hardware kind of an issue and having to swap these things out. They are wow. I mean, it's just and I'll tell you this: And everybody goes, why are you bashing Autel all the time? And I'm like, look, guys, no, I'm not bashing Autel. I'm like, I want them to succeed. And in order for them to succeed, they need to put out a product that is, when you get it out of the box, charge it up, get a firmware update out there, that it's good to go. Okay, you get your satellites, boom, you're ready to go out there and rock and roll and get some video and some pictures. Okay, and that's not the case here. And I think that's the frustrating thing, because a lot of people were expecting that in this drone. And I know our good friend Johnny Droneflyer too. I mean, he's experienced this. And being your first Autel product, out of the gate, that really doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth.
I want to ask the Armed RN. He says he has another channel. I don't know what that is, but hey, if you could, I know you because you're not blue, you can't put a link here, but if you could put a link in one of the comments on one of my videos or one of Bill's videos, so that we can find your other channel, that would be great. I'd love to see that video. Yeah,
if you could, Armed RN, if you could go ahead and email me at billthedronereviewer@gmail.com, a link to your channel. I'll get it out on my Facebook group and page, and I'll drop a link in this video too, so people can watch that, because I think people would be really interested to see your video. So if you could do that, that would be great. It's billthedronereviewer@gmail.com. It's real easy to follow. Just a word of housekeeping here, just to let you guys know. I got stickers on the way out, so be patient. I'm going to get to that this week. I finally got some time during the day, because anytime, my free time basically is like lunchtime. So at lunchtime, I go ahead and I get set up for the show on Tuesday night. So that's why I don't really have a problem getting the show together. It's like getting time to get the videos together on the weekends. That's just my time right now. And, it's just like, it is really kind of minimal. So I'm hoping to expand that. And, with the good news that we're getting about Valerie's dad, hopeful that, he'll progress and get better and get to the point where he can actually move around and physically do things. So, Marcus, any closing thoughts for tonight?
I got a question for you, Bill. You're going to start doing some more RC stuff, right?
Right.
RC cars, etc. So MJX sent me this guy.
Oh, wow.
And right there it says GPS. Why do I need GPS on an RC car?
Ah, wow.
I mean, it's got an app and everything. I don't know. I haven't opened the box yet. I have to figure that one out.
Maybe for what I'm thinking, and this may be a speedometer, so you can tell how fast it's going.
Yeah, speed, but I get that. But okay, so you see how fast it goes one time, and then how often is that going to be a thing? So I'm just curious. I'll let you know when I open it up and get it figured out. But
because that would be a great thing to have, because I got a little device that I can attach to the back of my cars and stuff. Right. That will, it's really, and it's GPS enabled, and it'll give you your speed on that.
Right.
So,
yeah, our friend Ryan Duvall does the same thing. He puts that little device in when he tests one. But what I'm saying, okay, so you've got a car like this. Okay, you check the top speed once. You know what that top speed is. How many times are you going to use it, right? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's what it's for, or is it for mapping? Is it for it can show you? I don't know.
It could be. It could be. I don't know. It sounds interesting, and I'd really like to check that app out.
Let me throw this one at you. What if it has some kind of a waypoint situation?
Ooh.
Would that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Where
you that would be real interesting. Yeah. I would like something like that. That would be interesting. Yeah. Let me know what you find out with that. That sounds great.
I'll do it. I know that's not drones, people, but it's kind of related.
It's kind of related. Any other thoughts, Marcus?
That's about it. Listen, the weather is hopefully starting to break for us here, so man, get out there and fly. I mean, I want to be flying that DJI FPV drone. I want to be flying that Mavic 3. I want to get out there and fly. I would love to say that I want to be out there flying that Autel Nano Plus, but as long as it's until they get that camera thing figured out, it's not too high on my list. Oh, and Bill, you asked me about Hubsan, and yes, the Xeno Mini Pro. I've got to be honest with you. I should fly it, and because I know there's some updates and stuff, But I get kind of burnt out on it too, because it was update after update after update, and it was the same old jello in the video and everything else. And I'm going, well, it flies pretty good, but what's the point if all I get is shaky, jello-y video? So anyway.
Yeah, well, I agree. I don't disagree with you at all regarding that. So we've had, just before I close here, our weather has been, we've had some cold snaps here, and I was telling people down in Florida, it's interesting because people think, oh, you guys have heat and everything down there. Well, understand, we don't have the insulation like I did when I lived up north. I mean, these are concrete blocks, and that's by code by the state of Florida because of hurricanes. Okay, at least the first. Now it's like even 2 stories have to have concrete blocks. I mean, that's a given when you're building. And part of that is, I mean, they do throw some insulation in there, but it's not the best. Well, no, I won't say it's not the best. You have to realize that a majority of the year down here, we don't need that insulation. Okay, and our furnaces will run a lot longer than they will like up north. Okay, like I can tell to get it up to like 71 at night or 70 at night when we're going to sleep. And when it got down to freezing, that thing was running like crazy in the morning. Okay. And anytime, like a door would open from outside, boom, it's going to be running to try to keep that heat up. So, that's one thing that I want to let everybody know. And the other thing is, even if we get a frost or a hard frost, there's no way. I mean, the airport has de-icing equipment for the planes here in Tampa, but like the roads, if there's frost or ice on the roads, we really don't have salt. We really don't have sand, any equipment up there. And it gets you have to wait for it to melt. I mean, that's just when it happens. Of course, that is very far and few between. We don't get that an awful lot. So I want to thank Bill from Metro Drones.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bill. You're awesome. Thank you. We really, really appreciate that. And I want to close always, the best drone that you got is the one that you're flying with right now. Okay. Always, I always say that. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your support and thoughts and prayers for all this, for what Val's going through, for what, we're all going through with that. That's very much appreciated. We really do that. Wish Ron a safe trip home. He went to visit his dad up in Pennsylvania today. Hope the weather was good enough for him to do that. So I know they've got kind of pounded lately with snow up there. So, and I know a lot of you have experienced that living up in the Northeast. So anyway, that's it for today. Hope all you guys are great. And remember, it's always a great day to fly. Take care, guys. Have a great one.